What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. We're going to get into NXT from August the 12th, 2025. A pretty okay show. We are 2 weeks away until Heat Wave, which they're still building towards. And that's shaping up to be a pretty good premium live event for NXT. So, yeah. And this episode here was actually pretty decent. It wasn't bad. Pretty decent. It set up a few things for the big Philly show that they're going to have next week on the 17th. So that's good there. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Which was really good, actually, which was Last Legend versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax defeats Last Legend. Really good stuff. The match was good. So, basically, Last Legend, she attempted to do the scoop slam in the match. She tried to do it 3 times and to no avail. So towards the end of the match, her and Nia Jax, they're fighting on the announce table, and Lash is going to go for the scoop slam, and then Nia just topples over her, breaks the table, which was an amazing spot, really good stuff there. Lash was able to hit, I forgot what she calls it, she hit that in the middle of the ring. Then they continue to trade blows back and forth. And then Lash went for a powerbomb, but Nia counters it with the Annihilator, not once but twice. 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax wins. So this is fine. This does make sense. The crowd was into this. I think Nia Jax did good here. Hopefully this is just the start of their feud. Hopefully we do a rematch at Heat Wave. I think that would be fair, but we'll have to wait and see how things play out with that shit. Alright, moving on. So Kelly Kinane, she has a backstage interview with Darkstate. So Deion Lennox says that tonight is the reason Darkstate came together. 4 hungry main eventers ready to take the opportunity. Tonight, they're going to be in the main event against 4 of the best wrestlers from TNA and NXT. Osiris Griffin knows that they're going to change the main event scene after tonight. Cutler James says that it's time for Darkstate to prove they run NXT. So Shaquan Sugars says it's been 6 months since Darkstate arrived at NXT. Wow, that's insane. And tonight, they're going to cut the head off of the Snakes at NXT Heatwave. Hank&Tank are going to be 20 pounds lighter when they run off with their NXT Tag Team Championships. When Darkstate is straight, ain't nobody safe. Okay, this is a fine little promo, but it's insane that they've been going on since February. That's rather long. And Darkstate has gotten so many stop and start pushes, and I really don't care about the faction at this point in time. I'm over the faction. I really am, because why? Shawn Michaels doesn't really too much care about Darkstate. Like, Darkstate, what are they together for? What, just to cause chaos? Like, it's no different than, what was Mustafa Ali's faction again when he was in WWE? Retribution. It's no different. They're no different than Retribution, in my opinion. But whatever. Moving on. So Chelsea Green, and the Secret Herberts, they're backstage in the NXT Women's Locker Room. So they run into Evolve champion, women's champion, Kelly Armstrong, Chantel Monroe, Carmen Petrovich, and Carly Bright, Kendall Gray, and Tyra May Steele in the backstage area. So Hank and Tank, they show up, and they're dressed as Zarya and Ruka. I'm like, what the hell? What kind of shit is this? Stevie Turner tells them to leave. And then Chelsea Green tells Alba Fire to take care of Kendall Gray. So Chelsea's looking for the female wrestler Tavion Heights is bringing to combat her and Ethan Page. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, this leads us into Joe Hendry versus Charlie Dempsey. Joe Hendry defeats Charlie Dempsey. Match was okay. It was rather short, about 5-6 minutes, so good stuff there. Joe Hendry getting the win on NXT television is fine. It does seem like he's probably going to be up with TNA either by the end of the year or early next year. So I would say sometime in 2026, I would say anywhere between maybe April and maybe August of next year, Joe Hendry will fully be in NXT, which is great. So, there's that. Moving on. So, Lola Vice tells Kalani Jordan that she needs to win this match tonight. She's been on a roll since Evolution, and after Triple Mania this Saturday, it's time for her to become the NXT Women's Champion. And Kalani knows that Vice City's been heating up, but she's been this close to recapturing gold. So Jada Parker's fine ass shows up, and she says Jada has money on both of them winning this tag team match. However, when it comes to the NXT Women's Championship, Jada Parker has next. Okay, good stuff. I like this. I really do. Good stuff. Next, this leads us into Josh Briggs. I don't really care about any of this. He talked about why he turned on Inamura and how he was selfish and yada, yada, yada. And then he ended up challenging Inamura to a street fight next week in Philadelphia. I don't care about this. This is lame. Inamura comes out and he calls Josh Briggs a jackass, and then they get into a pull-apart brawl. I don't give a fuck about any of this. This is lame. What a waste of time. Moving on. So, Jordan Grace, she's interviewed by Kelly Kinnaid. She basically says that she spent most of her life avoiding mirrors because she didn't like what she saw. It's not that she wasn't beautiful or that she wasn't strong, but she never could see herself like that. If her journey was just physical, lifting weights, counting down numbers on a scale, then it probably would have been easier. But the real battle has never been her body. It's always been with her mind, her self-worth, and that little voice inside of her head that she would never, that she's never going to be good enough no matter how hard she tries. And so Jordan opens up why she let her guard down on dealing with Mariah May. And then she says that there's real power in being able to see through someone like that. And with all the little Jordans watching, to remember this, real strength doesn't feed on someone else's weakness. Good stuff there. So Jordan Grace continues on by saying that she's stepping in the ring to remind Mariah May and the NXT universe that there's no blueprint for a champion. Champions come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and more importantly, champions are able to silence the doubts in their minds and silence bullies like Mariah May. And then at Heatwave, she's going to show Mariah May what a champion looks like. Okay, pretty good little promo there, pretty good backstage stuff there. I do like that. Backstage interview was good. Again, Jordan Grace is still not the best promo in the world, but she's okay at times, and this was a pretty decent promo. I kind of expect her to win next weekend. I really do. Hopefully she does. So, there's that. Moving on. So, Mariah May, she's talking to Ava. So, Mariah can't believe that Jordan Grace is calling her insecure. Ava tells Mariah that she'll have a face-to-face confrontation with Jordan Grace next week ahead of their big match at Heatwave. And then Mariah May is flabbergasted by this, which is hilarious. So moving on. This leads us into a backstage interview by Blake Howard. He's interviewing Fatal Influence. So, Fallon Henley, she cuts off Jacy Jayne, and she's about to answer his question. They've already taken care of Lola Vice, and they defeated Kalani Jordan in the past, so what else there to say? Jacy would like to thank Fallon for answering her question for her. And she would also like to thank Jasmine Nix for putting him in this match, being sarcastic. If you want to eliminate two women from title contention, what better way to do it than to do it by yourself? If Lola and Kalani think they can hang with the double champ, Jacy would love to see that. And then Jacy finds out that Ashley Elegance and Masha Slamovich are in the house because they're on the Titantron. And then, for whatever reason, Lainey Reed, she wishes Jacy Jayne good luck in her match. Okay, that's fine there. Still like how they are doing the slow breakup of Fatal Influence. It's fine. I wish it would move a little bit faster, but we all get where this is going. Moving on. So, we're backstage in the locker room. So, it's Moose, Trick Williams, Oba Femi, and Javon Evans. So, Oba knows that they'll never be friends, but tonight, it's not about, but they have to coexist tonight against Darkstate. They need to rectify this Darkstate problem. They're not just for men. They're the alpha males of their species. Moose agrees with that. Moose doesn't have to be friends, but he wants to beat up Darkstate. Pillar to post. Javon Evans points out that Trick Williams is being quiet. Trick says it is what it is, but come TNA Emergence, Moose is taking that L. Javon will be holding the L in Philly next week, and Oba will be holding the biggest L at Hate Wave. And then so Hank&Tank, they show up in the locker room and they have gas mask on, and then Robert Stone kicks him out of that. So whatever, I don't care about this shit. Moving on. So Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice, they defeat Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley clean. So that's cool there. Kalani Jordan ended up getting a win. So I would assume probably a heat wave. This is going to be I think a triple threat match, I believe. They mentioned that later on in the show. So that's fine there. But the match was pretty okay. Then we get a Jasper Troy vignette talking about, how he used to play football and everything else, and how he's going to hurt Ricky Saints in Philadelphia. Okay, that's fine. The only problem I have with Jasper Troy is his name. Please, Shawn Michaels, change his fucking name. Please, bro. Please change his damn name. Moving on, this leads us into Alba Fire defeating Kendall Gray. So she used to be on NXT 2.0, and she was, NXT Level Up, and now she's in Evolve. Now she's back on the NXT, so that's fine there. This was a pretty short match, but it felt like it lasted like 10 minutes, but it really lasted like 5 minutes, so it is what it is. So, post-match, Ethan Page shows up. He grabs the microphone, he puts fun at America. Ethan Page says that the Canadian standard of excellence will always be one step ahead. So Tavion Heights, he appears on stage. Tavion says that he handpicked his ally is the only woman in WWE history to capture an Olympic gold medal, which is Tyra May Steele. Then she beats up the Secret Hervis, and then she ends up planning Ethan Page with a German suplex. That was pretty cool there. All right, moving on. This leads us into Fatal Influence. So they are backstage. So they are scolding Jasmine Nix on their way to Ava's office. So Ava, she has a small conversation with George Iceman, who represents Aspa Elegance. So Ava just got off the phone with Santini Marella, and Heatwave is going to be Jacy Jayne putting her TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line against Masha Slamovich and Aspa Elegance in a triple threat match. And George tells Jacy to start counting on her days because the TNA Knockouts World title will finally become Elegance. And then Jacy Jayne wants Ava to ban George from NXT. Ava overheard Fatal Influence arguing So to defuse the tension, they're going to have a 6-woman tag next week against the Elegance brand. Okay, cool. So it's going to be Ash, Heather, and M by Elegance. Great. Good stuff there. George Iceman is great. Good shit there. Moving on. This leads us into Chelsea Green. She's backstage. She tells Ethan Page that they have a major problem on their hands. Chelsea says they should offer... my bad. Chelsea says they should offer Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights a peace treaty next week in Philadelphia. That was pretty funny there, so good stuff. Main event of the evening, Darkstate versus Trick Williams, Obafemi, Moose, and Javon Evans. And Darkstate get the win. So they end up getting the win. Basically, it all breaks down, basically. So, Trick Williams walks out of the match, basically. And this allows for Darkstate to hit the powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. And then there was a massive brawl with Hank&Tank and Darkstate, and that was NXT. So this is fine. It does make sense. I get where they're going with it. Am I a fan of Darkstate? No. But this show is pretty decent. It sets up for Philadelphia next week, which should be a massive show. Well, yeah, it should be a massive show before Heat Wave. So that's good. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, they could have Javon Evans win next week. I think that would be great. You could still have Trick be TNA champion. So, there's that. But all in all, NXT was pretty okay for the most part. I did enjoy it. It was a pretty good, fun little show. And I like it. So what did you guys think? And are you guys excited for NXT Philadelphia? Oh, I forgot to mention that NXT, they're going to be going up head-to-head against AEW's Forbidden Door that same weekend, that same Sunday. So that should be fun there. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.